I've been approved for more than 20 business credit lines for my company and haven't been denied business funding for years. But this isn't the case for most business owners because they apply for funding all wrong. In this video, I want to share with you the secret strategies experts use to acquire the most business funding possible, how you can implement it yourself, and what makes this strategy the best to quickly secure business credit. But first, I'm going to explain what you need to run this play successfully for your business. When I first started my entrepreneurship journey, my credit was low 600s, and I literally had to build my credit from the ground up. That means credit repair, building banking relationships, and paying off my debt to lower my utilization rate over time. But with this method I'm going to share today, you can skip the years it took me to build 6 figures of business funding and get there in as little as a month. However, if you want to skip the grind, you gotta come correct. That means you need a solid personal credit profile, no negatives on your report, and preferably a personal credit card with at least a 5K limit. Here's the secret. Business credit lenders typically give you 3 to 5 times more your personal limit when you apply for business funding. Just do the math. With a 5K personal credit card limit, you can expect between 15 to 25K in business credit card approvals. So yeah, you can skip the line if the banks trust you from the rip. And this means showing them you know what to do with the bag once they give it to you. Now that you know what you need to run the play, the question is, what exact strategy gets you the most amount of business funding within the shortest time? The old way to get business credit requires you to go to different lenders, randomly apply to their funding products, and hope that you get enough to invest back into your business. That strategy is outdated, and here's why. Every time you apply for funding, you get a hard inquiry on your credit profile. And this is how that actually hurts your chances at getting approved. Every inquiry you get lowers your credit score between 3 to 5 points. Too many recent inquiries and your funding applications will start to automatically get flagged. And lastly, randomly applying to multiple lenders can take months, if not years, to get the funding that you actually need. So, how do you avoid these mistakes and get business credit quickly without setting off alarms? The answer is bank stacking. Instead of going to random lenders over time, bank stacking is when you strategically apply to multiple banks within a short time window based on what specific credit bureaus they pull from. When done correctly, this limits the amount of total inquiries you get overall. And it allows you to get approved for multiple business credit products from different lenders before too many inquiries hit your credit report. When applying for funding, banks typically pull your credit from a specific bureau. If you know what bureau each lender pulls from specifically, you can apply for multiple business credit products at the same time that each pull from a different credit bureau. Now, instead of getting 3 different inquiries from each different credit bureau, you'll only get 1 per bureau, and lenders won't get tipped off about your other applications. This ultimately limits the likelihood that you raise suspicion and cause red flags as you secure more funding. That's the real sauce with getting a big bag when it comes to business credit. Applying the bank stacking method is like going to a buffet. You don't just get 1 piece of food, sit down, and then go back when you're done. You load up your plate with as much as you can at once before all the good stuff runs out. This same theory applies to funding with bank stacking. Apply to all the best lenders as quickly as possible before your credit report gets cold because of too many inquiries. And now that we're all hungry and ready to stack your plate with business credit, I'm going to show you exactly how you can execute a bank stacking sequence so you can get up to 100K in business funding fast. First, you need to identify which lenders pull from which bureau so you don't overlap your hard inquiries during the application process. You can do this by searching creditor databases like creditboard.com or MyFICO forums. These databases allow you to search lenders by geographic location and get information on which credit bureaus they're pulling from. But here's a secret that'll get you even more funding during this process. Before you search for banks that do hard credit pulls, first apply to multiple lenders who do soft pulls and won't leave inquiries on your credit. These companies can include Divvy, Revenue, Brex, and even Amex. If you're already a member with a card, they won't do a hard pull anytime you apply for a new business credit product. Using soft pulls allows you to rack up a few approvals and build trade lines on your business profile with no personal credit risk. And these approvals will also benefit you when you start to go to more traditional lenders. You'll be able to show prior credit history for your business, and they may base your approval amounts on what you already have. Now that we've covered how to plan out the first part of your banking stacking sequence, let's take a look at how to plan out your hard inquiry strategy. We'll use creditboards.com to search for specific lenders and the credit bureaus that they pull from. You can also call the bank or lender directly in most cases and ask what bureau they pull from as well. Here we have the Credit Boards website. You can access this at creditboards.com. creditboards.com. As I stated, this is just a great resource for you to go ahead and check on specific lenders and banks and see exactly where they pull from as far as the credit bureau if you don't already have that information at hand. And one of the great things that I really like about this website is that you can actually go down and search the credit pools database, not only for even the name of the bank, but your geographic location. So as you probably know, not all banks and lenders are national and serve every state. So you can go ahead and put your state into this category right here. I'm going to just start out on my location. I'm on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. So just go ahead and select PA. And then at CRA, that is Credit Reporting Agency. Based on what credit bureau you want to search, you can go ahead and select that right here, Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. Now, a little extra sauce I want to give you is make sure you focus on the less used credit bureaus first. So in my recommendation, that's going to be first TransUnion, then Equifax and Experian, with Experian being the most used credit bureau for most lenders. For my credit boards, I'm going to go ahead and search TransUnion first. So I can go ahead and just put that under CRA. You can put date applied, but I usually just keep that open. And you can actually choose if your results are from people who've got approved or no. So just a lot of filters here to where you can get the best data possible. You go ahead and press update here, and you can see not only the state, the zip code, the reporting agency, the date people apply, if they got approved, the score they had, the limit they got, and a few comments as far as some things to know. So just a lot of good information here. I'm just taking a look at maybe some familiar banks or some banks that I would want to apply to as it relates to TransUnion. So here I see TD Bank, and I know TD Bank is going to be a larger bank, and not only one that's in my location, but one that I know I can do online as well here. I'm just going to go ahead and write down TD Bank in just a short Google Doc. And I'm going to note TD Bank that they're pulling from TransUnion. So I literally have my first bank here in my funding bank stacking sequence, starting with TransUnion. And it's always good that you can go ahead and get maybe one or two more as well. And as I'm going through the next page, one that I'm seeing a lot as well in the PA area is going to be Members First. So we got our approval for Members First here at $678 for $41,000. Just going through some other ones. I see another Members First approval here, $8,000. Another good thing you can do is as you see these banks that are in my credit boards, you can literally just look up on Google to make sure that you can actually apply for them for the business credit cards or business products, but you also want to just check if you can do them online. And as you can see at the very top, it is already telling you right off the rip that Members First Credit Union does allow you to apply for certain business credit cards online. Now, keep in mind, you might not have to search my credit boards for every single bureau. I already know in my location, there are a few great lenders that already pull Equifax. And for me, that's going to be Truist and KeyBank. So I don't necessarily have to search my credit boards for that. I can already just jot that down. So we just want to go ahead and put KeyBank. That's going to be from Equifax as well as Truist. All we need to do now is get our last credit bureau, which is going to be Experian. And I do already have a go-to for my Experian, which is going to be Chase. That's always going to be number one when it comes to the first bank I want to go to with the Experian credit bureau. It doesn't hurt to get a few more lenders as well. Same routine. I just put in my state, PA. I'm going to go ahead and change the credit reporting agency to Experian and just update that filter. Off the rip, I'm already getting some good banks that I would probably take a look at. First one being Bank of America. Once again, that is a bank with branches near me, but I can also look that up and verify that they allow you to apply for business products online. As you can see, Bank of America applied, approved. Their score, $16,000. Right under it, another Bank of America approved, almost $20,000 there. The more that you see these banks that you are familiar with that are coming up repeatedly, those would be good ones to add to your bank stack and funding sequence. The first one we want to definitely do when it comes to Experian is always going to be Chase. And we also have Bank of America for a secondary. I did mention Amex in our soft pool category, but if you don't already have an Amex and aren't in their system, you can also apply for Amex, but it is going to be a hard pool. And most of the time, Amex business products are also going to pull from Experian as well. So I'll just go ahead and put Amex here. Just using the knowledge that we have as well as a database like my credit board, we already have 2, 4, 7 banks from just 3 credit bureaus. For our TransUnion bank stacking sequence, we're going to have TD Bank and Members First Credit Union. So we highlight those here. For our Equifax Credit Bureau, we're going to have KeyBank and Truist. And then we have our Experian credit bureau when it comes to the bank stacking sequence, which we have 3 lenders, and that's going to be Chase, Bank of America, and Amex. So it doesn't have to be that hard to put together a bank stack and funding sequence. You just have to do a little bit of research and due diligence and then put this into place. Now that we have the lenders that we want to go to with each specific bureau, let's get back to how exactly to implement this play even further. To maximize your bank stacking sequence, you want to make sure you apply to at least one lender that pulls from each bureau. And here's some additional sauce that you want to remember while running this play. Try to do all of your applications within a 24-hour window so that all the inquiries state the same day, but different bureaus. Use incognito mode on your web browser to prevent websites from sharing cookies and tracking your activities from previous applications. Lastly, make sure you're applying the banks that predominantly go off stated and projected income to determine your approvals and limits. This avoids having to provide additional financial documentation as you apply for business credit. If done correctly, executing a funding sequence like this could easily get you over $100K in business funding. Here's a quick breakdown. You could, in theory, get at least $25K in approvals just from the soft pool lenders alone. Then if you average $25K in approvals from just one lender from each bureau, that's $100,000 in funding for your business in just 24 hours. And the best part is, because all your inquiries came on separate credit bureaus on the same day, you limited your total amount of inquiries from 9 across all credit bureaus to just 3. This strategy will keep your credit profile as clean and strong as possible. Therefore, when you go to do another bank stacking sequence, it won't trigger a bunch of flags with potential lenders when they go check your personal credit again. Now listen, because this next point is crucial. Just because you stacked your plate with funding doesn't mean you should disappear after you secure the bag. Think about it. Do you have a favorite restaurant or store that you go in and immediately they recognize you and start showing love just because you're a loyal customer? That's exactly how you want your banks to treat you as well. But to become a loyal customer for a business credit lender, you can't just take the money they give you and ghost them. You need to build a relationship and show them that you're there for the long run. I didn't get the 6 figures in funding all at once by just going to apply to a bunch of different banks. When I first got approved for business credit, I saw that I was still leaving money on the table. I realized I can get a lot more benefits if I stopped worrying about the next lender and focused on building with the ones that had already funded me. They were willing to give me more if I just stayed in touch and showed that I had good habits. The truth is, banks aren't just giving away money based on your credit score anymore. It's also about trust. And you begin to build this trust before, but definitely after you're already in their ecosystem. And here's how you play the trust game. After you get approved for funding with one bank, don't just use the card occasionally. Do at least 5 to 10 plus transactions on it monthly and pay off your balance immediately. Then reach out to your business relationship manager and ask for a credit limit increase every 90 days. This shows your business is active and able to handle the bag that they gave you. Even if you only got approved for a 10K initially, this could get you a 30 to 40K limit in as little as 6 months if played right. Oh, and because you're already in your system, this can be done without more hard pulls and inquiries on your credit report. Some lenders will pre-qualify you for additional business credit products like lines of credit and business credit cards purely based on your activity and payment history. But you have to build a relationship with them and ask, or you'll never know. So once you get approved for funding using the stacking method, here's a few things to do. Do at least 5 to 10 transactions a month and pay off your balance consistently. Set calendar reminders every 90 days to reach out to your lender and inquire about limit increases and additional internal funding products. Lastly, continue to grow your business using their credit so that in the future you can provide financial documentation and show them that you're actually putting what they gave you to proper use. The goal is to show them that you're not just a one-time applicant searching for money. You're a real business, you're playing the long game, and you're here to build a real partnership. Stacking gets your foot in the door, but the relationship unlocks the real bag. And that's the part most people miss. But if you're still unsure which banks to hit first, how to properly structure your business for maximum funding, or how to make these lenders compete to fund you, that's exactly what I'll teach you inside my funding formula. This is the exact step-by-step blueprint that has helped entrepreneurs secure thousands in funding, even with no experience and brand new businesses. If you're serious about running a business credit play the right way, hit the link in the description and let's secure this bag together. However, if you just want more sauce on how to properly prepare yourself and your business for funding along your own journey, make sure you watch this video next, where I explain what you need to do before you apply for business credit so you don't get instantly denied by lenders. Let's get it.